All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about Lisa Broderick's book, All the Time in the World. And it drops this really wild idea on us. What if you could actually learn to control how you experience time itself? And no, this isn't science fiction. It's a completely new way of looking at reality.
I mean, you know this feeling, right? The seconds are just slipping away, there's never, ever enough time to get everything done, and that clock on the wall just keeps ticking. This whole feeling of time poverty, yeah, that's something pretty much all of us have to deal with.
And you know, if we ever needed proof that our personal experience of time is kind of strange, the pandemic really showed us. All of a sudden, people who were completely overwhelmed by the crazy pace of life found themselves stuck at home. And for some, every single day felt like it was a week long. For others, whole months just blurred into one long, endless day. It really proved that our internal clock is a lot more bizarre than we think.
So what is really going on? Well, this is the book's central idea, and it's a total game changer. It suggests that time isn't this fixed thing that just marches forward no matter what. No, it's flexible. And hey, even Einstein proved a long time ago that it's stretchable.
So to really get the solution, we first have to talk about the problem with time and why it so often makes us feel completely powerless. See, we're taught from day one that time is this non-renewable resource. Once a second is gone, it's gone forever, right? We see our lives as this straight line where we're just at the mercy of whatever happens to us. And this gets to the very heart of our mistake. We look at a clock and we think, okay, that's reality. But according to Broderick, that's just a system we humans made up. And the moment you start to question that system, well, everything you thought you knew about how reality works starts to come apart at the seams. Okay, so if the clock isn't the whole story, then what is? This brings us to a totally new way of thinking, because as it turns out, time is not what you think. We're about to explore a new reality where we can shift from being victims of time to actually understanding how it works.
The author calls this her theory of everything for time. And this isn't just some philosophical idea or wishful thinking. No, it's a model that's actually grounded in science, from Einstein to quantum mechanics, and it's backed up by real-life human experiences that just completely defy our normal understanding of time.
So how does this theory actually work? Well, it all starts with understanding the two sides of time. You've got the physical side and the perceptual side. Getting this difference is absolutely key to unlocking everything else.
So on one side, you have physical time. Think of this as the world of cause and effect, gravity, the laws of physics, the clock on the wall. But then on the other side, you've got perceptual time. And this is the world of quantum physics, where your awareness, your perception of things is actually a critical part of the whole equation.
And this right here, this is the most important point. You can't change the laws of gravity, but you can change the part that you control, and that's your perception. That is the secret. That is where all your power is.
Now, I know this might all sound a little abstract, but it's actually a phenomenon that people experience all the time, often without even realizing it. And that's what this next section is all about, entering the zone. Let's look at some incredible stories of stretched time that show just how real this can be.
Okay, so the author tells this story about her friend Bill. Just picture this. He's driving on a packed California highway, just cruising along with everyone else at about 80 miles an hour.
And then right in front of him, this huge tire suddenly falls off a truck. It bounces a few times, and he watches in horror as it flies right through the windshield of the car in the lane next to him. I mean, a truly terrifying life-or-death moment. But here's the crazy part. Inside Bill's mind, the entire event, it unfolded in slow motion. The car spinning out, all the chaos. For him, it was all happening at a way, way slower pace inside his head.
And because of this massive shift in his perception, he felt like he had all the time in the world. He was able to just calmly steer his own car over to the shoulder, completely avoiding the crash. His perception of time literally saved his life. So what was that? What just happened to Bill? The book gives it a name, focused perception. It's this heightened state of awareness where you feel this deep concentration, a sense of total control, and time itself seems to slow right down or even stop. It's the exact same thing that athletes call being in the zone, or what psychologists call a flow state.
And here's the thing, it's not just for car crashes. It can be triggered by all sorts of things. The intense focus of an athlete about to make the winning shot, the deep love you feel when you're holding a newborn baby, a moment of pure creative inspiration, or even, as happened to the author as a child, a near-death experience.
So this leads to the most important question, right? Do you have to wait for a crisis to experience this incredible state? The answer is no. And that brings us to mastering your own time and how we can go from this happening by accident to making it happen on purpose.
And this is the most empowering part of this whole idea.
You don't have to wait for life to throw you into the zone. Through different practices that are all about mindfulness and deep attention, like meditation or getting lost in creative work, you can actually learn how to create this state of focused perception whenever you want to.
The journey kind of looks like this. First, you have to update your own mental model of what time even is. Second, you learn the actual techniques to intentionally create that state of focused perception. And finally, you make the shift from just being a passive observer of your life to becoming an active creator of your experience and your reality. I absolutely love this quote from someone who started using these principles. She said, "Focused perception is the inverse of panic." Just think about that for a second. When you panic, time feels like it's speeding up, and you feel totally out of control. But when you're in focused perception, time slows down, and you have all the time you need.
And at the end of the day, this is why all of this matters so much. The ultimate goal isn't just to do some cool time-bending tricks, it's about freedom. When you are finally free from the stress and the constant pressure of the clock, you are free to tap into your creativity, your productivity, and to finally get on with doing what is truly yours to do in this world. So, we're going to end with this question, which really turns this whole concept right back to you. If you truly believed you had all the time in the world, if time was your greatest ally instead of your enemy, what would you do with this very moment? What is yours to do right now?